biggest animals ever known dominated our planet 65 million years ago. Dinosaurs were the most dominant creatures, but they lacked a place of their own. Reptiles existed together with them, and the pterosaurs, their airborne relatives. And vast numbers of birds flourished, alongside fish, insects, and the earliest mammals. It was quite a pleasant time to be around, what with the weather so warm and levels of the sea increasing. Titanosaurs prowled, while huge lizards roamed the sands. Nobody had an inkling that the life they knew was about to change. In outer space, a meteorite whose size was equivalent to 100 football pitches was heading towards them. It collided with the Earth, causing an explosion so powerful that it would beat all the present-day nuclear weapons put together. Fierce earthquakes shook the Earth. Those who were capable escaped. Within 10 minutes, a hugely overheated cloud of debris spread over America. Enormous clouds of dust and ash covered the sun. The meteorite had smashed into the sea. From an opening 90 miles wide and 12 miles deep, water now gushed out. Gigantic tidal waves caused devastation all over the Earth. And now, creatures that had outlived the direct impact had to deal with a new problem. Millions of tons of molten rock that had been hurled into space dropped back to Earth. In a matter of only a few days, half of the Earth's forests were on fire. The firestorm continued for weeks, covering the ground with soot. The damp, hot jungles had been destroyed. Subsequently, the Earth started freezing in the continuing gloom. As their bodies froze, the big herbivorous dinosaurs were left with no energy to move their huge bodies around, looking for food. Their fall in number saw the carnivorous dinosaurs that fed on them face starvation. But beneath the surface, some creatures were active. As these earliest survivors made their appearance, the full impact of the catastrophe came to light. They came across hundreds of thousands of carcasses and a world that had completely changed. The battle was on to see who would rule the Earth next. But one thing was evident. The age of the dinosaurs had met its unfortunate end. Jaws and teeth capable of crushing the leg of a dinosaur. Armor-like skin that could guard against razor-sharp claws. Crocodiles appeared like this in the prehistoric era, but then they were 3 times the size. 65 million years ago, when a meteorite collided with the Earth, it was largely big animals that got affected the most. But how is it that the crocodile species didn't perish? Well, crocodiles are excellent swimmers, but dinosaurs weren't. A crocodile's ingeniously made body adapts to water easily. To go beneath the water, they exhale and close unique nostril flaps, and by reducing their heartbeats to only 3 per minute, they can stay submerged even for 6 hours at a stretch. Here they could stay safe from the violent fires which destroyed the Earth. And because water remains warm for a longer time compared to air, they were better off in enduring the freeze caused by the meteorite. Crocodiles aren't as fussy as a T-Rex and don't mind eating rotting meat. Following the catastrophe, they devoured the rotten flesh of carcasses around them. And even the months of continual darkness would not have been an issue with them, because with a unique hearing ability and low-light vision, crocodiles are capable of staying in touch with one another to locate food at night. But when they do locate a prey, crocodiles can move at high speeds. Making use of their razor-sharp teeth and pincer-like jaws, they perform the crocodile roll, twisting their bodies in order to tear the flesh piece by piece. At that time, a rotting titanosaur, but now a fresh, delicious wildebeest. These mammoth carnivores have an incredible ability for going without food for up to 2 years between meals when there is a shortage of food. These skills of survival improved the chances of life for the crocodiles after the meteorite. But there was another thing, something completely different from what's expected of them. These wild beasts make excellent parents. Reptiles generally leave their babies and attend to their own needs, but by looking after her eggs, this mother is guarding from other ravenous creatures. Her nest turns into an incubator. If it's warm, then there'll be males, but if it's cold, then definitely females. The numbing cold temperatures after the meteorite explosion may have produced all female crocodiles, and these flourishing mums-to-be would have increased their numbers. Hearing their cries, the mother digs her young out. Taking them to the water, these same happy jaws that can rip apart the hind leg of a wildebeest can also guard their young just a few centimeters in length. These tiny predators have inborn abilities that will help them survive till they breathe their last. In over 200 million years, crocs haven't undergone any change. Providing us with an extraordinary understanding of what it was to share space with the dinosaurs. When they got trapped in amber, some might have faced a sticky death. But insects are not to be taken lightly. They can survive being fried alive or frozen solid. So for them, Outliving the brunt of the meteorite 65 million years ago was a piece of cake. They had some amazing talents to rely on, and the most notable was flight. Capable of buzzing off, they could flee the catastrophe. These dragonflies resemble some of the first known flying insects. Their two pairs of wings work on such uncomplicated joints that they can be only moved up and down. Despite that, they are brilliant flyers. But the hands-down winner is the fly. They possess only a single pair of wings, extremely fast. These wings move at an outstanding 1,000 beats per second. Other insects have grown a variety of uses for their wings. For instance, look at the beetles. Like tanks of the insect world, they shove their way through leaves and twigs on the floor of the forest. Such rough action surely would have injured fragile wings, so they made their front pair solid, hard, protective armor. But they made sure they looked stylish, incorporating some dazzling colors. Insects everywhere take care of their fragile, spongy bodies by sporting their skeletons on the exterior, something like body armor. These skeletons wrap the whole body in an extremely strong, horny substance known as chitin. But sporting their skeletons outside implied that insects could never make it big. Being tiny, on the other hand, has its pros. They can conceal themselves even in the smallest of places. This was a great way of enduring squalls caused by the meteorite. And if food was scarce, actually, a small titbit would delight a tiny insect, and one dewdrop would be sufficient to take care of the thirst. However, tiny insects make a delicious snack, so to survive they had to think outside the box.